Hello, 4th grade. Today we're going to do lesson 13-3. Bear with me, this is our first time recording, so hoping this goes okay. Right now, why don't you get your math books out and turn to 691. If at any point you need to take a break or rewatch something, you can pause the video and then rewind it or pause it while you work a problem. Okay, so when you have your book out, let's look at page 691. Today's lesson isn't too difficult. We're going to be dealing with customary units of weight. And there are only a couple of conversions that you're going to need to remember for today's lesson. We're going to start with the solvent chair like we normally do in class. So why don't we all read it together on the count of 3. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. When Lori was born, she weighed 7.5 pounds. There are 16 ounces in every pound. What was Lori's weight in ounces? Well, think for a minute, and what fact do we know about ounces in pounds? Of course, if you remember, there are 16 ounces in every pound. So 16 ounces equals 1 pound. Of course, Lori weighed 7.5 pounds. And our job is to figure out how many ounces that would be. So let's think about the 7 pounds. Every pound has 16 ounces. So what kind of problem do we need to work? We would need to take 16 times 7 to figure out how many ounces are in those 16 pounds. So together we'll multiply that. 7 times 6 is 42. Put your 2, carry your 4. 7 times 1 is 7, plus that 4 would give us 11 more. So we have 112 ounces in those 7 pounds. Of course, we're not done because Lori weighed 7.5 pounds. So now we need to figure out how many ounces are in a half of a pound. If 1 pound is 16 ounces, then we just need to take half of that. So 16 divided by 2 would be 8. So Lori weighed an additional 8 ounces. So add those 8 ounces to the 112 ounces that we already had, and that gives us a total of 120 ounces for what Lori weighed. So today we're going to be doing more problems like that where we convert pounds to ounces or ounces to pound and pounds to tons and tons back down to pounds. Okay, why don't we turn to the next page and look at the problem that they give us. On this page, there's a really important conversion table that you want to keep in mind. It's not as big as some of the other conversion tables we've had because, again, you really only have 2 facts that you're going to have to remember today. The one that we used on the previous page, which was 1 pound equals 16 ounces. And then the second fact you need to remember is 1 ton would be the same as 2,000 pounds. If you can remember those 2 facts today, you shouldn't have too much trouble with today's lesson. So why don't we go to the next page on 693, and we're going to try a few more problems together. Okay. Let's look at number 2. Number 2 is 9 tons. Now, if we look at the previous page, remember that there are 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. So if you have 9 tons, it's real simple. You just need to take 9 times 2,000, and that will tell you how many pounds. So in this case, of course, 9 times 2 is 18, plus those 3 zeros since we're multiplying by 2,000, and that gives us 18,000 pounds. Okay, let's go down to number 4. Now remember, that's because we know that 1 ton, if you want to keep your facts straight, is equal to 2,000 pounds. Let's look at number 4 real quick before we do one with a fraction. Here they want to know how many ounces are in 17 pounds. Of course, the fact that we want to keep in mind is that there are 16 ounces equal to 1 pound. So if number 4 gives us 17 pounds, how can we figure out how many ounces that would be? We would need to take 17 times 16, which is a good review also of how we multiply a 2-digit number by a 2-digit number. Remember, first just use your 6 in the 1 spot. 6 times 7 is 42. Put your 2, carry your 4. 6 times 1 is 6, plus that 4 gives us 10. Of course, we're done with that 4, so mark it off so you don't try to use it again. When you go to your second line of multiplying, always start with a 0 because we're multiplying by a multiple of 10. 1 times 7 is 7. 1 times 1 is 1. Add your 2 lines up together. You get 2, 7, and 2. So 17 pounds would be equal to 272 ounces. Okay, now let's look at number 3, which has that fraction in there. It's still a pretty simple problem to work. We have 3.5 pounds, which we're wanting to convert to so many ounces. Remember your fact, 16 ounces equals 1 pound. So we need to take 16 times 3 since we have 3 pounds. So over here we can do our 16 times 3. 3 times 6 is 18. Carry your 1. 3 times 1 is 3, plus that 1 is 48. But remember, we have another half of a pound. So if 16 ounces are 1 pound, cut that in half. Half a pound would be 8. So we need to add an additional 8 ounces to this total to give us 16. Carry your 1 for a total of 56 ounces. Hopefully, you're getting the hang of this. Okay, let's try a few more down here on the bottom. Number 5 says 15 pounds equals how many ounces? Again, ask yourself, how many ounces were in 1 pound? Hopefully you remember there were 16. So again, this is going to be a 2-digit number times a 2-digit. So we're going to take 16 times 15. Our 5 times 6 is 30. Put your 0. Carry your 3 up there. 5 times 1 is 5, plus the 3 is 8. Cross that 3 out so you don't get confused. Put a 0 because you're multiplying by the number in the 10 spot now. 1 times 6 is 6. 1 times 1 is 1. Add them up. And we get a total of 240 ounces. Okay, let's try one where we go from tons to pounds. Again, our fact was 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. So we're simply going to take 7 times 2,000. Think in your head of your basic fact. 7 times 2 equals 14. Put your 14, but we're multiplying by 2,000, so we have to add those additional 3 zeros. And that would be 14,000 pounds. Okay, occasionally they're going to give us a fraction, which we've tried a couple of times when it's a half, which is pretty easy. Let's try one where it's a fourth. Okay, so if we look at number 9, we have 5 1/4 pounds. Okay, again, 16 ounces in a pound, so I'm going to take my 16 times 5. 5 times 6 is 30. Put your 0. Here are your 3. 5 times 1 is 5, plus that 3 is 8. So far I have 80 ounces, but we also have a fourth of another pound. If 1 pound is 16 ounces, if I divide that into fourths, what would 1/4 be? So divide it by 4. A fourth of 16 would be 4 ounces, because 4, 4, 4, and 4 gives us a total of 16. So one piece of that would be 4. Add those extra 4 ounces to your 80, and that would be a total of 84 ounces. Okay, so hopefully you're starting to get the hang of this. Let's look at a table down here below, 13. Okay, on number 13, we're going to be counting up in tons. Okay, 1 ton, ask yourself again, what is a ton equal to in pounds? Of course, it's equal to 2,000 pounds. So every time I get 1 ton, I get an addition that is equal to 2,000 pounds. So 1 ton equals 2,000 pounds. But what about I had 1 and a half of another ton. Well, what's half of 2,000? Of course, that equals 1,000. So if I have 1.5 tons, we'd have our 1 ton, which equals 2,000 pounds, and that half of a ton, which equals an extra 1,000 pounds. So put that together, and we get 3,000 pounds. Okay, 2 tons, 2 times 2,000, of course, would be 4,000. An additional half a ton would be an additional 1,000 pounds. So we go up to 5,000. And then on 3 tons, 3 times 2,000, of course, would give us 6,000. Okay, hopefully you're starting to get the hang of this now. Of course, if you need some extra help, you can always watch this video again. Also in your assignment today, there's a video that we would like for you to watch after you log into your Pearson Realize account. You will find it under your assignments, the video, a couple of them, I believe, over lesson 13-3. Once you've finished that, go to the Homework Buddy. Work those problems, hopefully gain some confidence in how to do this. Then you will be ready to complete today's assignment. If you have any questions, of course, email your homeroom teacher, or again, rewatch this video or some of the other video links that we've given to you for some additional help. Okay, have a great day, guys. Bye.